Any of you that don't know about the Department of Motor Vehicles in the state of Maine, you probably ought to learn about it. And that is that there's a lot of people getting pulled over, their vehicles taken unwarrantedly and sold out between the police and the tow companies. For further information on that, all you have to do is Google search Scott Fenstermaker, the attorney that came from New York City to uphold the rights of people in the state of Maine by pro bono and public defending. Well, what happened to him? It seems to be that Janet Mills didn't like him, and neither did Aaron Frey, because he won the cases and then he filed federal for his clients. That would be in Dover, Dexter, and surrounding areas throughout the state of Maine, over as far as Ellsworth. So that would be Penobscot County, Somerset County, Piscataquis County, and a few others. Wouldn't that? Janet Mills, Aaron Frey. So why all the frivolous police activity? And why is it that my registration on a vehicle that I bought from Joanne Brown in Maine, why did that get suspended? So another public question out to Joanne Brown from Facebook Marketplace in Maine. Would you kindly call Motor Vehicle Department in Augusta, Maine, because I had to put your name and information down in the investigation request due to the fact that it seems the title had 2 extra names that nobody can seem to find on Google search or anywhere in the system. How coincidental is that? Kind of reminds me of William Asher. William Asher. If you look up my previous videos and you'll find about Brattleboro Reformer and William Asher duping me. And let me tell you something, I'm not the only one. Again, it involves police, politicians, and FBI agents. Isn't that right, Christopher Ray? The latest vehicle was bought by me and registered together with me and my daughter so that I could go down and get her out of the situation they found her in. Where's Bree today? Well, that was a setup too, wasn't it not? Seminole County Police Department, Sanford Police Department, the Sheriff's Department, and everybody in between. And again, you'll find those stories on the news. Google about the ladies that were just carjacked and tow truck driver that was killed, amongst the fact that there was a deputy from Seminole County arrested throughout the situation. And mind you, it's been happening to my daughter for a long ass time. And again, all the reports from 2021 to 2024 are in hand with me. My title, bill of sale and registration from a vehicle that I bought from a Maine government official. How about that? So I'm looking to find a way to get a copy of that. I've reached out to Mr. Jeff Smith, purchased the vehicle from, at return my emails. Perhaps he's not using that email anymore. I've contacted him by phone and I've tried other sources to get through to him, and I'm getting no results. I do still have a copy of the bill of sale, the pictures of the title and his former registration to the vehicle to provide, because he was concerned about in case something happens to it along the way. And he made note of that to me because he knows my situation, being swatted several times, the situations with Mr. Chase downstairs in the front lobby at DMV being relatives that was reported. So it's all happening to be perhaps retaliative situations. And I've requested, again, Christopher Ray to contact and to look into that situation since October 4th, due to the fact that there's no reason why my registration should be suspended. All of these tolls that they told me I had, a letter they state they sent out back when I requested a title to my Trailblazer back then, and those 2 vehicles have disappeared as well. And nobody wants to do anything about it. And I have sent in the forms that were sent to me previously by you to my email. I printed them. Now, if they sent a letter out from Department of Motor Vehicles, Augusta, Maine, to 380 Depot Street, Wilton, Maine, 04938, Where in the hell is that mail? Well, mind you, I know that Daryl Bryant's sister-in-law said in front of the chief of police that she told the post office not to deliver my mail to that address. Well, lo and behold, that was illegal too. So a lot of illegal activity happening here. Some of you are laughing about it because you're involved in doing it. But the rest of you are wondering what the fuck is going on? Well, pay attention because it's not over with yet. So now we've got United States Postal Service mingling and fucking with my mail. The chief of police from Wilton, Ethan Keyes, knowing about it and confirming it, as well as the Bryants, who used to have a brother in the Franklin County Sheriff's Department out of Farmington. Okay. So, along with this, being friends with Janet Mills and the family, and I was married into the Mills family and dated outside of my husband before he was my husband. Friends of the Mills, and after that, being terrorized, raped, beat, and left for the dead when Janet Mills was the DA for Androscoggin. And what happened to that case? He was indicted by a grand jury. So how the fuck did it go into disappearance? Just like when Richard Cohen, the U.S. attorney, said to wipe her charges of investigation, even of the cocaine. That's right, Janet Mills and the cocaine got wiped right off the radar, and she wasn't charged with a goddamn thing, and now she's our governor. That's why the shit goes sour, and that's why I don't uphold the rights of the police officers or the politicians. I don't vote for criminals, so therefore, I refuse to vote in this country until we get the right ones in. Signed them. They were completely filled out. They were sent in by United States Postal Service, and still I've got no response. And then I get told again when I call that there's nothing been received every single time I call to check on situations. And I wouldn't waste my time checking on stuff if it wasn't factual. I wouldn't take time out of my life to do what I do for filings if I wasn't being factual. Okay. Yeah, that might be a help as well. I mean, I've even talked with Patrick Gagnon, the detective for the Attorney General's office, and because they all commit frivolous activity against we the people, there's a lot of him. Ma'am, I'm just going to make you aware that I'm going to now record my conversation where that the attorney that gets appointed to my case needs to be aware that I do thorough checks to make sure there is no kind of client attorney conflict. Their state of any such is to be conducted for the state of New Hampshire on their behalf against myself being the defendant. I'm requesting that the appointed attorney contact me immediately, escalated request due to make sure that she is not going to be a conflict of interest to my case. And I'm requesting that none of my personal information, due to the high risk protection from abuse that I have requested against police and politicians in regards to all of this frivolous activity being played out against me, I'm again going to share this information as a public awareness and announcement request that the Public Defender's Office from Littleton, New Hampshire fulfill my request as a client right and the rights of my Constitution, human rights, civil rights, disability rights, and all my rights in this country. Does that register? Okay, well, you got that information clearly, correct? So you got that information, yes or no? But you just heard everything I just told you, correct? You heard me, correct? Say, okay, thank you. And that's what I needed to know. Now, please relay that information as I will be sharing this, as I told you, recorded conversation to social media for the public to be aware of as a public awareness so nobody else gets messed over the way that I do. Have a great day. And there you go. Anybody that needs an attorney and they get a court appointed one, you have the right to know who's representing you. You also have the right to know who is filing shit against you. And you have the right to know who the judge is that's deciding your fate. So, again, I suggest you all start standing up for yourselves because I'm only telling you that you can do it because I'm aware that it can be done. And the fact is, if we didn't have a constitution, we'd have nothing at all, which everybody is stomping on the Constitution. And I think you parents are pretty silly for not teaching your children the Constitution before they enter the school. That would be a great idea that it be mandated. Parents teach your children the Constitution before they enter kindergarten. That way, right from day one, the public and childcare as well. Due to it being state and government funded, you know they got their hands in trying to destroy your family. It's called blackmagic, isn't it? And what I'm telling you all has to do with the charge that I got. And I mind you, part of that charge was a letter that went from the courthouse to the plaintiff, and it wasn't from me. So all of you haters out here that have been following, stalking, and terrorizing, we're having our day in court, and it's coming real soon. Thank you for listening. So there you go. You got Maine Motor Vehicle Department investigation. You heard that, and then you just heard me talking to the public defender's office in New Hampshire in regards to all the frivolous activity, and noting, just so you know, all my haters, that I have an attorney, and she is going to uphold my rights, and that means she has to find out who you are. So good luck with everything.